Good morning and happy Monday. Today we're going to be doing episode number 2. I'm going to be focusing on 3 main things all around the financial aspect of this whole entire series. First is going to be the actual finances, second is going to be the opportunity costs, and third is going to be the main takeaways and life lessons. So let's begin. First things first, how much money did I have in order to retire or quit my job? I had about $27,000 in my savings account. That's including my savings and my checkings. And that's what I used to sustain myself without any income whatsoever from April to December of 2023. I realized I was going to be running out of money, and I had this really intense freak out episode where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of money. I don't know what job I want to get. I don't know if I have experience or skills to transfer into a new job. And I don't even know if I'm ready to work again in that capacity. So I went through this pretty big episode where I didn't really know what my next step was. Fortunately, I'm surrounded by amazing human beings, one of which is my best friend, Manny, down in San Diego. And he talked me through this for an hour and a half. And he was like, dude, money is being used against you right now. You are operating out of a mindset of scarcity. We got to flip that. And for an hour and a half, I was kind of arguing. I was like, no, dude, this is just the way it is. This is just the reality. I got to be rational. I got to be logical. Like there's no other option. But through the conversation, through guiding me through that episode, I came out of it and I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, Manny, where was I for the past hour and a half? And he's like, I don't know, dude. You're in a dark spot. And I was like, whoa. And what I took from that is time to unlock new ways of living by learning. And so I immediately called my financial advisor. I was like, hey, change of plans. I need to speak with you if you have time. And so we hopped on a call, got to the office like 2 days later, and we went through every single possible scenario of what I can use my investments for. Because I was told that I should never touch my investments. I should never use them until I'm 65. You know, go through the trenches and do whatever you got to do, but don't use it, because if you use it, you lose it and you're a bad person. That's kind of what my brain was conditioned to believe. And so in order to overcome that, it wasn't anything like magic. It wasn't someone telling me a new recipe. No, it was literally just going in and learning. And I went through each of my buckets of my portfolio and I was like, what am I allowed to touch? What am I not allowed to touch? What are the tax implications? What are the penalties, like short-term, long-term gains? And what would you recommend in my situation, given my perspective on life and my way of living? And through that conversation, that is when the early retirement was unlocked. It was never, and this is a pretty big part of the story, early retirement was never on the agenda. It was never a part of my story. It was never a planned thing. It wasn't until that episode, getting pulled out of it and decluttering it, I was able to then early retire. So at that point, I started using my investments strategically. I changed up my portfolio, I changed up my strategy. I was as transparent as possible with my financial team. And I was like, this is the way I look at life right now, at this stage. This is how I live, this is my goal, these are not my goals. And it was very contrasting to what they're normally hearing from people who are coming into these meetings. And they said it was quite refreshing, actually. And that was really like a universal synchronicity for me of like, okay, I think I'm on the right path. Because I guess one other main thing in this whole financial thing is I'm just a regular dude. I'm just a regular dude, had a regular job, and I live a pretty regular life. I'm not like this massive expert at anything. I'm not a trust fund baby, and I don't have any particular skill that allows me to make more money than other people. No, I have plenty of friends who make a lot more than me, or did make a lot more than me when I had a job, and I have plenty of friends who don't make as much either. It's just, we all have our own story, we all have our own foundation. But the whole purpose of this series is to introduce a new way of living that I believe is not talked about that often. It's not the right way, it's not the only way, but it's my way. And so far it has given me peace of mind, clarity, an abundance of amazing human beings, and happiness, fulfillment, and financial return, evidently, from being able to live off of this. But I'm at this point now where I want to share it. So that's kind of the nutshell, the financial piece. I want to then dive into the opportunity costs. And I think the opportunity costs are for those of you out there who are more skeptical about this. For me, the opportunity cost that I've deduced so far is 1, compound interest. I'm not investing into my portfolio in excess anymore, which means I'm not reaping the benefits of exponential compound interest on a month-to-month, year-by-year basis, because I'm pulling money out as my investments are making money. So without adding more into it, I am losing time. That's 1. Second is I am not accumulating resume experience. For all of us who are in our 20s and 30s, some of us who are even older who are trying to make job transitions, I'm not accumulating any objective resume experience from a traditional point of view. I've learned a plethora of new skills. I've made an amazing amount of connections through a network that I just call homies, like not even professionally. But I believe that the experience that I've gained will help me create a new path for me that I was unaware of. And I believe that the compound interest of time that I'm losing, I will make up for it, because I believe that I will make the right decisions moving forward every day to mitigate it as little as possible, because right now it's exactly the way I feel like I should be living. Number 3, takeaways and life lessons. The main life lesson here is that there are infinite ways of living. We are brought up in our own story, in our own context, with our own society, and we are conditioned to think that life is a one track. But through this experience, I've really unlocked new ways of thinking and new perspectives and way more new experiences that have allowed me to understand that life is a sandbox. We get to play in the sand if we allow ourselves to do so. We have to be smart, we have to be rational, we have to be emotional. Everything has to really allow ourselves to line up and make those decisions. But ultimately, there is no right way of living. There is no right way. There is no, you're gonna fail this way and you're gonna succeed this way, because ultimately we are all human beings. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how famous you are, you still have the human factor, which is our emotions, the push and pull of all of this going on in between our ears here. And so I believe that you need to discover the path that is right for you. And I do believe that it involves taking chances and taking risks, but risks that are calculated and risks that are strategic and risks that are well thought through in advance. But this whole experience has really brought me a newfound appreciation of life, a gratitude for what I have already versus a longing for what I don't have that I want to have in the future. And through being able to live more presently, I believe that I'm going to be able to make all the right decisions, put all the pieces of the puzzle in the right places at the right time in order for me to conquer my goals over my lifetime. But in the process of conquering those goals, I want to be happy and I want to be fulfilled. And I believe that my next phase of this is coaching and helping people declutter their own minds. And if you saw my first video, you will know that there is a link in the description below. I'm going to be doing free conversations and consultations every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for half an hour for the next 30 days. And it's no cost. It's just if you are feeling stressed in life and you have some goals you want to achieve but don't have anyone in your life that you've been able to articulate them with, I would love to talk to you and get to know your story better, your aspirations, your goals, anything, over a cup of tea, cup of coffee. And the only thing is, if you want to donate, you can donate. Donations are accepted, but that's it. So if this story has resonated with you at all, or if you are in a part of your life where you're going through something big in your job or a big shift in your mindset and you think that I would be a good person to talk with, I would love to be that person for you. So click the link down in my bio. You can schedule time with me on Calendly. And until then, I think the next video will be something along the lines of, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's gonna be with the flow. So until then, enjoy your Monday, enjoy your week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.